Oh, folks, have I got a little brain teaser for you tonight. Let me tell you. Okay, so on a hunch from a fan, I took the liberty of printing up a couple of interesting little tidbits of information. If you hear kids in the background, don't bust my ass. They just finished their dinner, so they're a little on the hyped up side. It's almost bath time. Anyways, I took it upon myself to print up a couple of interesting pieces of evidence and raise some questions. Aren't you excited? So everybody's going to have some homework tonight because that is what an investigation is. It's finding these little tidbits and then working them out until we can see the whole picture. Okay? Now, I know you all have probably seen this today. This was just newly released. This is a copy, oops, upside down, of Teresa Halbach's death certificate. Now, if you notice in the top right-hand corner is her death date. And it is stated as date pronounced dead. November 10th of 2005. You see that? All right, folks. Here's the thing, though. When we talked about what you do when you have a dead body, what was the number one thing that we said that we do when we have a dead body? We ID the dead body, right? Now, here's the thing, folks. Laws vary from state to state. However, there is one thing that remains static when it comes to signing a death certificate. And that is you have to have identification of the body in order to issue a death certificate. It is an official document. It's basically like a birth certificate in reverse, okay? You need it to cancel credit cards, cancel any other accounts, cancel banking, health insurance, the whole fucking kit and caboodle, okay? So why then, why was Teresa Halbach officially declared dead on the 10th of November when she was not even positively identified until the 5th of December? This is a copy of the evidence collection report and the DNA report, okay? This is the exact copy that partially identifies Teresa Halbach as the deceased. I say partially because of the 3 sets of charred material, only one had any DNA that was a possibility to be tested. And of that one, I'll read this to the class, a partial profile at 7 loci, as well as the gender marker amylogenin, was developed from the apparent charred material. This profile is consistent with the profile developed from the pap smear slide reportedly collected from Teresa Halbach. Here's the thing, though, folks. 7 loci is shit. It's not hardly anything. So how could they positively identify her with only 7 loci? At that rate, it should have been deemed inconclusive. Now, I could be wrong. When I was doing the whole DNA analysis workshop thing, it was significantly higher that was needed in order to positively identify. This is 5 years after I took that workshop, so I could be wrong. Technology does grow by leaps and bounds, but there's a good chance that I'm not wrong. Okay? So on an extremely limited profile, they positively identified Teresa Halbach, but here's what gets me. She wasn't identified until December 5th, but a death certificate was issued on November 10th, upside down again, on November 10th, and her funeral was on November 19th. How did they even know who the fuck they were burying? This should have been a habeas corpus thing, Because, I'm sorry, but until you get that body positively identified, you can't issue a death certificate. Now, of those 3 charred pieces of flesh that they found, only 1 had any kind of testable material in it. And at that point, the sample was so degraded that, quite frankly, it should have been deemed inconclusive. So, this is huge. I know you don't see the significance of it now, but it's a big deal. Because how could they positively identify Teresa Halbach on November 10th? And true, the death certificate wasn't officially stamped and entered into the record until December 6th. That's when the stamp is. But guess what? The stamp is only there for it to be filed with the Office of Vital Statistics. The official date of death is November 10th. This has been shoddily done. This was poorly done. The fact remains that she was not identified even partially, and half-assed partially at that, until December 5th. And by that time, Stephen Avery was already in jail for a murder of a woman that they didn't even positively know was dead. For all they knew, she was in a fucking basement somewhere being tortured. How did they know? How did they know that those were Teresa Halbach's bones? What really gets me is the person identifying it as bones being consistent with an adult female on the site. You can't even tell that until you get the bones back to the lab and you kind of, do your measurements and calibrations and all that shit. So what in the fuck is going on there in Manitowoc County that they positively identified a deceased person 1 month before she was positively identified? What the fuck is happening up there, guys? What's in the water? Somebody check the water distribution system that goes to Manitowoc County government officials, because there's something wrong. Somebody's been putting LSD in the water supply, haven't they? That would explain so much. So that is everybody's homework assignment. I'm currently working on this myself. I've actually, I've called not really a colleague, an ex-mentor of mine who works in the DNA lab at, great, I can't think of the name of the place off the top of my head. Anyway, it's the big lab down in Albuquerque. I've called him. I've asked him to take a look at this DNA report and give me his conclusions off of it. So I will be reporting back with that. I also have another friend who is a registered nurse, and she knows all about purple top tubes, folks, and I'm going to get her on the phone, and we're going to do an interview on video for you all so that you can hear what she has to say about the purple top tubes. Also, do not forget, first of all, hit the subscribe button, and second of all, down below in the description of this video will be a link to the petition to the federal government to open up a federal investigation against all of the law enforcement departments that were involved in this case. So don't forget to click down there and sign the petition. Sign, share, share, share. Come on, folks. Let's get these fuckers out of office. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next video.